Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to discuss a very interesting book. It's called The Four Agreements. And these are four very useful things that I think anybody can start doing from right now. The first one is to be impeccable with your word. And this is really important. And of course, this is something that takes time to do, just like the other three that we'll talk about, right? It's like you have to be well trained to do these four agreements. It takes us a very long time to become conditioned and to gain, let's say, some bad habits, but we have to uncondition ourselves, and that takes time. So these four things that I'm about to tell you do take time. So you need to practice them. So the first one is to be impeccable with your word. And this involves not criticizing, blaming, complaining, or being a victim, or gossiping, or being angry, impatient, for example. So being able to control our mind is very important. And we can actually check in at the end of the day and see how well we do, how well um, we were able to master our minds. And this involves avoiding things like shame, guilt, blame, remorse, and and any other negative emotions, and being impeccable with your word. So to not criticize, complain, etc. So, for example, impeccable means to not do any sins, and in this case, what they're referring to, a sin is like a miss is is like a miss the target, right? So you want to redo it. If you miss the target, you just want to redo it. You want to avoid, as I mentioned, things like shame or regret for not being able to hit the target, and just keep trying. This is really, really important. Be impeccable with your word. You said something, something is good for you. You want to keep on doing it, and you want to achieve your truths and your top priorities without complaining or blaming other people or being a victim, because you know what you want to achieve, you know your goals. And so it's very important to be impeccable, and to not miss the target, to actually try your best and be diligent to achieve those goals. The second one is to not take anything personally. So that's the second agreement. So whether or not someone had a bad day or a good day will affect how he interacts and treats you. So the way he interacts with you will depend greatly on the events or circumstances in his or her life, which means didn't even change, but the person treated you based on where they were in their life. So if they had a good day, if they got a raise at work, well, they're going to interact with you in a different way than if they had a bad day, than if they were then if something negative happened in their lives. And this is really, really important to understand, because you don't want to take anything personally. That's the second agreement, because there's no point, because the way a person treats you varies greatly depending on their situations in their lives. So it's important to not take anything personally. The person might have just been having a bad day, like a rough day. And Deepak Chopra actually said this very amazing quote: I'm totally independent of the good and the bad opinion of others. Because again, it varies based on the circumstances that are taking place in their life. And the third assumption kind of goes off on this, is to not make and the third agreement, which kind of goes off on the second one, is to not make assumptions about what others think about you, because again, they might be just having a bad day, and so the way they treat you will greatly vary. And so don't take it personally, but also don't make assumptions that the person hates you, for example. You want to clarify and check in with them, right? Just ask, just ask why they feel this way. Don't assume that it's because it's you did something bad, because they might just been having a bad day. So don't take personally and don't assume anything. They're very related. And the fourth agreement is to always do your best. So we talked about this in Hill's book, where there's fire behind like a soldier, and he was running towards the lake to get rid of the fire. He had a burning desire to achieve whatever he wants to. So always try your best, be committed, and be diligent and persistent in whatever it is that you want to achieve. And it can vary, of course, depending on your emotional state. Um, just like other people will treat you in a different way based on how their day was, so does your emotional state affect how well your day is going to be, whether or not you'll achieve your goals that you set for yourself. If you have a good emotional and physical state in a particular day, you're more likely to achieve whatever goals you have in your life. But just so you know, again, it takes time, and so you need to put in the effort to achieve whatever goal you want to achieve. You really have to work hard and be diligent, just like in the Burning Desire in Napoleon Hill's book Growing Rich, where you have to be persistent. You also have to enjoy the process, right? But you also have to have that tension between where you're at right now and where you want to go, and right, and your ideal, and do everything you can towards achieving it.